giving MCFA.
Thank you. Good evening. One piece of good news that I wanted to pass along in case you hadn't heard is that in literally the 11th hour on September 30th, Governor Brown signed AB 1690 and SB 1379, I'm sorry. The board passed back in April, the last time we were all here on the Los Banos campus. The board passed a resolution in support of AB 1690, and what that did was to require community college districts to negotiate seniority and rehire rights for part-time faculty, as well as to evaluate or negotiate evaluation procedures, which we already have, so we have that piece covered. There was a lot of back and forth on these bills. I've been watching them kind of closely. At one point it looked like AB 1690 was dead and had been replaced by SB 1637. In the end, Governor Brown signed compromise versions of both bills. So we're looking forward to negotiating seniority and rehire rights for our part-time faculty. By the way, there are triple SP funds attached to whether or not districts negotiate those. So we're looking forward to that discussion. And a couple of things I wanted to share with you. This comes with a story. So one of the first things, I was elected MCFA president in March of 2014. And literally the very first idea I had, or maybe it was the second, is that we didn't seem to have a lot, talking about branding, we didn't seem to have a lot of, you know, I go to conferences and I see other faculty associations that have t-shirts and fun stuff like that. So I proposed to Keith Law, my predecessor, that we create a logo. And so we had a contest, and we got a bunch of submissions. We actually were looking for two different kinds of logos, a small logo and a large logo, and we got a bunch of entries for both. And I remember going to a meeting late in the spring semester where the faculty who were in attendance at the meeting looked at all the entries, and in the end we approved or voted for a small logo and a large logo. And then they kind of sat on the back burner for a while, and we didn't get around to really doing anything with them. Lately, we have, I'm very grateful that we had the help of Cheryl Barnett in the arts department, who actually helped to design one of the logos. And I happened to notice, Megan, that you brought your tote bag.
I did.
So if I could just show you all, this is one of the logos that was designed for the Faculty Association that we have, that Cheryl has put on some things like tote bags and t-shirts and calendars and coffee cups, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. So this is one of the logos that was designed. The other logo, this is kind of a funny story too, because we attached some prize money to these logos. For the longest time, we could not find the person who created the other logo. We didn't know who she was. I asked payroll; they had never heard of her. Eventually, we figured out by accident that she was a student. So we found this student, and we sent her her $75 check for creating this other logo. Now, the other logo, we never did anything with it, except we used it as the thumbnail picture on our Facebook page and on our YouTube page. And so that was, you know, kind of the end of it, until a couple weeks ago when I opened up my email and found this 6-page letter from the college's legal firm, which is a cease and desist letter demanding that we stop using this logo. So I read this letter, and after shaking my head and rolling my eyes a little bit, immediately took down the Facebook picture, and Megan took down the YouTube picture, and that was the end of it. And what I said to a couple people is, they could have just asked. They could have just asked. I don't know how much it cost to write this 6-page letter. I suspect it was a few $1,000s. because this doesn't, I mean, it cites case law and all this other stuff. All you had to do was ask. Okay, the other thing, more good news coming up later. It's not all gloom and doom with me, I assure you. The other concern is, as I mentioned earlier, with what happened with the hiring process. Now, we were all here back last month when our HR director reported that they had added 2 managers to the hiring committee to provide more diversity. We understand that. A couple people kind of asked me, well, you know, why did they have to be managers? And I remember that was brought up by at least one of the trustees, and that was explained. And I thought, well, yeah, that seems kind of odd, but it's okay, no problem. And then, of course, halfway through the process, for reasons that I still can't fully explain, but that you might have heard about in closed session, Julie and I were removed from the committee. And as I mentioned to you earlier, the faculty are very upset about that. There are kind of 2 reactions to it. One is, well, we don't really understand the reason why they were removed. You know, we don't really think they did anything wrong. We understand they can't explain the reason. So maybe it was a legitimate reason and maybe it wasn't. But what they're really upset about is the fact that they were not, there was no mechanism in place for us to appoint replacements. So I implore the board to please come up with something that we can add to this policy that would allow for that. I actually have a couple of ideas that I would be happy to bring forward if that discussion can take place. The faculty were so upset about this happening that a few people suggested to me that we consider having a vote of no confidence. And so I put out a survey to kind of gauge people's thoughts about that. And what happened was kind of shocking to me. The faculty are overwhelmingly in support of a vote of no confidence in the president. And I'm not talking about this president. I am talking about the faculty are in support by about 85% of the ones who responded to the survey of a vote of no confidence in the as yet to be named new president. Okay? Because they have that little faith in this process. Now, to be honest, the idea was also proposed to consider a vote of no confidence is taking place at this time. This is a survey to consider it, and where it'll go from here is anybody's guess, but it has been suggested that we consider a vote of no confidence in this president. There is support for that by not as large a margin, by about a 75% margin. And when I say 75%, which is 3/4, I'm not saying 3 out of 4. It's not me and Meg and Megan and one other person. You know, it's about 75 out of 100, close to that. So I think that sometimes some of you are led to believe that it is just me and Meg and Megan that are unhappy. It's not. Okay, I want you to know that. So there's that. And to end on kind of a happy note, I think it's a happy note. I did want to recognize, while they were still here, Ernie Ochoa and Carmen Ramirez, who are running for the Board of Trustees. And even though they do want a couple of your jobs, you know, I hope we can all agree that anybody who does this job or expresses interest in this job, that's to be commended, because we're talking about people that want to serve students, that want to serve their community. I feel that way about all of you, and I feel that way about, you know, anybody who's interested in this position. So I'm sorry they had to take off. They weren't aware it was going to be a slumber party. They didn't bring their pajamas, so maybe next time. That's my report. Thank you for your patience.
Okay, classified Sam.
Thank you. In our ongoing efforts to improve the communications among classified, we have launched our newsletter, and I did send you a copy of that, although it was belated. Our next one will be going out this week. We have updated both our public-facing and our internal websites. Mostly they're just informational right now, but we are hoping to be able to get pictures and to improve that. And our eventual goal is to enter our public-facing website in the website contest for the 4CS Classified Senates of California. I have had the opportunity, and members of the e-board of CSEA have had the opportunity to meet with several of the trustees in a social setting, and we are hoping to set up meetings with more. We have very much enjoyed that. We very much appreciate the opportunities. We have also appreciated the opportunities of the campus coffees with President Walsh and the trustees, and we are very glad for the opportunities to build lines of communications, to get to know each other, and to be able to handle things collegially. And we look forward to extending the opportunities for that in the future. Thank you.
Okay, CSEA.
I think that was me.
Oh, there was no classified senate.
No, it was classified senate, but I think I took CSEAs with that.
Oh, okay, thank you. Police officers.
Good evening, Board. Steve Marks, standing in for Officer Rhodes, the President of our association. Just want to report our engagement in training, as mentioned during the contract with Captain Trinidad. Basically, Merced Police Department officers are very impressed with the past training with the sheriffs. It's made it a lot easier for them than for us four officers. Basically, on a monthly basis, it's a arrest control and physical training and range participation. On an annual basis, currently we have one officer travel to Fresno 3 days. It's an advanced officers training. And again, they have some range, driving, and legal updates. And some standalone trainings are 2 electric motorcycle officers, Rhodes and Lopez. Merced PD put on a training, 8-hour course, I believe, a couple Saturdays ago. They got a few scratches and bumps, but they survived. But the positive for them is we just received those cycles this past year. Going on, the new computers that are being installed right now in our 3 police units. Of course, the information on those receiving vehicle registrations that we could actually run ourselves, running driver's license, warrant checks, probation checks, and there's a reference to guides, penal codes, and so forth. And of course, that's our main report writer and station too, inside our units. Touching on the computers real quick too. Also being 36 years with the Sheriff's Office, just to clarify and correct, someone had mentioned that those are handing down computers. Like I said, I want to correct that. Those were exceptionally brand new computers when installed. Actually, again, like I said, working for both departments. Some of the sheriff units' computers were kind of banged up, and ours were in superior condition. They even upgraded my antenna, so the Wi-Fi connection was again superior compared to some of the sheriff units. Just some clarification on that. Again, our radio communications, speaking on the Las Veganas campus here, again, I've known a lot of officers, and of course Chief Greasy, a lot of years, and just want to thank them for letting us borrow the portable radio until we got our free program. Again, allowing to use their dispatch center. You might want to think, the board might send a thank you letter, because like I said, Captain Trinidad, there's no charge. And knowing, like I said, knowing the guys and knowing the dispatch center too, it's absolutely necessary, of course, in our job, but the change, transition in Merced City Police Department, there's no connection with their radio system. Again, dispatch centers are our lifeline, and they will relay information to other local law enforcement agencies for quick response to back us up out here in case of a violent incident. Again, with Merced City PD and Los Banos frequencies, their range could be 20 miles, 25 miles, but on that primary system right now. With the sheriff's office, the range was countywide and even into the neighboring counties. We had good connections and very clear connections. And that particular radio is still in our units. Of course, it's our secondary radio connection, but it will serve good as a great backup in case our system would go down. The transition part from sheriff to police, I got to commend Captain Trentdad and his team for smooth transition. During training and meeting the team there at City Police Headquarters, very positive. They embraced us. With that is about it. I do want to thank Brenda on the expansion of our gravel parking lot during this past year, especially the winter time. Took pictures. The kids were slopping through the mud, and hopefully they do appreciate that. I think it was a big project, getting that done. And again, I want to thank Brenda. And of course, it is in progress, but the lighting situation is going to be addressed. So if you want to go out there after you leave, it's a long night. I'm sure my security guard might be leaving before you guys. But yeah, you could take a look out there. It's extremely dark. But other than that, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Steve, before you go, I want to say thank you very much. We're going to miss you. Good luck with your new job at the police department. I apologize for the information that I gave. I just trust the people who tell me stuff. I didn't know it myself, so I apologize for this information I shared earlier. But I do want to say thank you for your service, and I hope that you do well, and we're going to miss you.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I'll be with the sheriff's office starting next week at full time. And of course, I live on the west side, so make my stops in here. It's been a pleasure over this past year working for the common issues. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Management Association.
Good evening, President Walsh, Board of Trustees, Paul Baxter, the current president of the Management Association. Really quick, we had a whole new slate of officers took over this summer, and so we're still trying to work out some of the things we're going to be doing with the Management Association. But one of the last things we did at our last meeting, we do have a monthly meeting. President Walsh led us through an exercise where each of the managers and directors came up with 3 goals, things that we can get accomplished by the end of the year. Again, they're SMART goals, they're specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and time-sensitive. So these are ways that helps us, and they're tied to our strategic plan. As you know, that we've continued to, we're extending out for that another year as we continue to work on that. But that's where we're at with the Management Association. Thank you.
Thank you. And do we have anyone from the ASMC? There we go. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. The first thing that I would want to report would be that us as an ASL are very involved with our region right now. So our region is our direct connection to the state level of the community college system. And Merced College is showing ourselves to be a force to be reckoned with on the region. We're one of the most visible ASOs in our region. We show up in the largest number and we contribute the most. We ourselves actually have our region treasurer who just got elected this semester, who is Calvin Garcia. And so he represents us strongly there. We have a lot of participation in the committees, and so we have a lot of say. So I just wanted to let you know that your Merced College is being represented very well. Also with the region, Bill 1955 was actually proposed, well, 1955 is the one with the showers and how colleges are now going to have to mandate open showers to certain students who meet the guidelines in the actual resolution. It actually came from the students. The SSCCC, which is what we're going to in November, is the place where that bill actually originated. So these things that we're going to GA with can come into actual law if it goes through all the processes and gets passed along. So we're doing things that can actually impact the state here, just to let you know. One of the things that us as an ASO actually authored, and I'm very proud of my trustee and my treasurer for this, but they actually authored a resolution that they proposed to our region to go to GA. And I'm sure Desiree wants to talk about that, so I won't let you know what that's about. But I'm very proud of them as their president, so I just wanted to mention that. Also, after that, I wanted to talk about our student appreciation meal that we had last Thursday. We had a student appreciation meal. We spent about $1,000 and approximately, I think a little over 1,000. But we approximately fed about 400 students and college faculty, staff, anybody who got in line who worked at the college. So we opened it up to the entire college, and we fed a lot of students, and it was a really great event that we had. So it was successful, and we were very happy to have that. Hopefully next meal we'll get the information to you in advance, and you guys can come and check it out. We had burgers, hot dogs, a lot of people got seconds. It was just a really great event. Next week we have Blue Devil Days on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and we're going to be actually selling food that time. So not giving it away free, but we're going to be selling it next week. So and that's for our clubs to make money. Also, at the last football game, ASMC gave away, initially it was 200 free hot dogs, but the students who actually showed up were 80 free hot dogs. And so what we did is we joined with Leanne Hobbs with her efforts to make the football games more productive, and she brought elementary school students to the football game, and ASMC provided them with, I think the number was about 90 to 100 students who showed up, and they got free hot dogs from our concession stand, and ASMC was very happy to serve them. They were adorable, and some of them came up with change and was like, is this enough? And we couldn't tell them no, so. But it was a really great time, and we're happy, and we're hoping to do more things like that in the future, especially because we want to improve the community and the participation in our football games. I don't want to keep this too long, but I think the last thing that I'm going to mention is that we are going to General Assembly November 11, 12, and 13. If I'm correct on those dates, that's when we're going to the General Assembly where our region and the other regions meet to debate all of the resolutions that come across our agenda as the statewide organization. So that's where this resolution either gets passed or it doesn't, and then we'll see if the chancellor wants to back it and make sure it goes through. So thank you very much. I had one question. How do I put things on the agenda for presentations? Okay, yes.
What you do is you talk to Stacy. You give her the idea. Stacy will give you the time limit. You'll see if you can do it within that time limit. And then we ask the board chairman. We look at the length of the agenda. Clearly, you wouldn't have added one tonight.
No, not.
But that's how you do it. You bring the idea to Stacy, talk about the time. Stacy brings it up to the chairman of the board, and then the chairman and the CEO discuss the time frame of the meeting.
Okay,
And then we get back to him.
And then that would be the presentations that would happen at the beginning of the meeting, correct? Correct? Okay, thank you very much. I hope you guys have a great night.
Thank you very much. All right, we're ready for board reports. And call on our student trustee first. And we'll pass the microphone down.
Sure. Okay.
Good evening, everybody. It's getting better. It's always walked up to your desk that you had a couple papers. The first one is the resolution that Cameron Coperwaith and I wrote, and the second is a flyer. So first I'll talk about the resolution. Last month, on September 9th, Bill AB 1995 was passed, which now allows homeless students to take showers using campus facilities. So going along with that, Cameron Coperwaith and I took the initiative to write and submit a resolution to our General Assembly titled Increased Access to Resources on Campuses. This will provide economically disadvantaged students in good academic standing with Merced College the opportunity to use campus washers and dryers to wash their clothes. Students who need such resources may feel discomfort, embarrassment, or ridicule during class sessions or just being around their peers due to not being able to afford to wash their clothes. And this may chance the possibility of them not showing up to class or even dropping classes. We've gained the support of ASMC as well as our Student State Region 5 in hopes to better support our students in the possibility of resolving these issues. So for the second one, which is the flyer, I just wanted to inform everybody that Students for Social Justice and Merced College Young Democrats Club are holding a community informed voter forum on Thursday, October 20th at 6:30 p.m. in Lesher 111 on the Merced College main campus. This is to pretty much get all the candidates, anybody for election, re-election, to be able to get involved with their community. But yeah, to pretty much discuss upcoming measures and propositions. So if possible, it is encouraged that any members up for re-election or election get involved and participate in this event, or even just attend. Other than that, the last thing I have to report is that I'm working with Chuck Fennessy to bring awareness to the veteran scholarships in hopes to get more participation and more applicants, as well as forming 2 teams to represent ASMC to play at the Gulf Benefit on October 29th.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Cindy, you have the microphone, so go ahead and give your report.
Saving her date for the canvas form. I guess the biggest thing I did, I just got back from 5 days. I was gone almost a week, but 5 days at a ACCT conference, of Association of Community College Trustees. Usually we go as a bigger group, but I was solo this time. So hanging out on Bourbon Street the night after it was over all by myself, that's a little crazy over there. And I hear there's a place for older people to go listen to jazz, but I didn't get there. Next time. Okay, mostly this conference, and I've gone at least 3 times, and we get to hear it's national. Sometimes there's even schools from valleys like Puerto Rico and places like that. But really get to see examples of what's going on out there, what innovative programs. And it's always been my goal that Merced College is there sometime with the session, and with a lot of the programs where you guys are doing, I can see we do that. First thing, I heard a lot of the same buzzwords I'm hearing from you. So we seem to be staying, you know, up with the trend, but I also think maybe we're pushing some envelopes well enough that we could maybe lead the way on a few things. So I'm hoping to hear that. Let's see, where was my other? I spent quite a bit of time, again, there's like 11 different sessions going on at any one time, and being one person, I couldn't do that. Although I did go steal some of the paper packets out of some of the other ones afterwards. But I really kind of concentrated on how boards work or can work, and CEO board relationships and things like that. And at one of the conversations, all these successful schools that were presenting, and the concern I had was not one of them had a search for a CEO that didn't have a consultant involved. So that was something I probably didn't ask everybody, but everybody I could have. So that one, just, you know, a few things, concerns I had, I was checking on what was going on. So I hope we do okay with what we're doing here. A lot of the CEOs, a lot of the colleges, they may be bigger ones with more campuses, but they're actually going beyond just the educational system and hiring people from industry, people from other government organizations, people from, you know, that have that have run big NGOs, big nonprofits. So they're kind of going beyond that and this whole kind of business model and ways to, you know, with all the fundraising and all that kind of organizations. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see how things go next time. But it's a bigger world out there, and we definitely talked to some that were Hispanic serving. Is that what we are? Yeah, so that's the fact that we have that designation is good. I hope more people go next time and that we get more time to do that. And then on our next time to talk, I've got a few suggestions I have for agenda items.
Thank you. Gary, go ahead.
All right, I want to thank everyone for their reports. It's always nice. Lathan, thank you for hosting and having us here. I'm always impressed with all the things that you're doing here on this campus. I forgot to ask if there was still a taco truck, but I guess that's gone now. But I wanted to just say that it's been a really busy time. And I want to piggyback on what Patrick Mitchell said about serving on this board. And you know what, we're in election time, in my 4th year, and I'll tell you what, on November 8th, no matter what happens in my area, I'm a winner because I had the opportunity to serve. And I want to tell you thank you to all my colleagues, other board members, that I'm extremely privileged and honored to have served with you, and I hope that can continue. What's really interesting is when you are challenged, and in this particular arena, I've gotten to find out that I have more passion than I ever knew for service and for being a board member. And I just wanted to extend my appreciation to my colleagues because it is a service to be here. It's my passion in education to be here. And it's been an honor to be a part of this. So no matter what the outcome, I feel like I am a winner to have been able to be up here as a graduate of Merced College, and not only graduate from Merced College, but actually find my wife at Merced College. I'm a winner, no matter what. But I also want to extend my appreciation to all of the staff, administration, because the level of your projects and the reports that you give continuously show the progress and the good things that are happening at Merced College campuses, either here or in Merced. There's so many good things to talk about Merced College and what we offer. And I hope that with Robin Shepherd, with what we voted on tonight, I'm real excited about what's going to happen with the funds that are going to come in. And those funds are going to help more students. And that's what we're all about, students. So thank you.
Okay, we'll send it on down, and Joe and Jean. We're not doing the line. We're just skipping around. We'll hand that to Joe.
Okay, next.
Then we always need a few surprises at 10 o'clock at night.
Well, first of all, I want to say that I'm very impressed with our student trustee Desiree and our ASMC students as well for all the projects that you guys are working on and that you're doing. And I'm proud to be here and be your trustee. What you're doing, your events, those are awesome. Just want to thank Brenda and her team for the Diversity Festival. Very successful and a lot of activities, and I think it seems to get bigger and bigger every year. So thank you for doing that, and let's make it even better for next year. The event that you did where it was Sheehy Elementary School. the principal rewarded like about 100 students and took them to the football game. He invited the team captains of the football team to come speak to all their students and encourage them and get them motivated about school and probably football as well. So that was awesome to see, and you know, they came, I went to the football game as well, so I saw them out there all with pom-poms, and you guys also gave them some kind of care package for everybody, so they were all happy about that, and it was good PR. It was in the newspaper last week, so you know, if we could see more of that, that would be awesome. I can envision, you know, a day of all the students, elementary students coming in, and we got half the stadium full of kids. That would be crazy, but it'd be cool. I won't be attending the President's Circle because I got invited to speak by a student organization here on campus, and at the same time as that, so I told them I would, and
I hope they feed you.
they're not going to feed me. I think I'm going to end up bringing pizza, but that's okay. And there's no wine. But did that extend to that? Okay. So, and then lastly, just, he's not in the room, but I just want to thank Officer Steve Marks for his time of service here on campus. And, you know, we're really going to miss him because he is homegrown. He's been here all his life. And he knows the entire community, from the police chief to, you know, to the citizens in the community. So we're really going to miss him, and I hope we can replace him with somebody as good quality as he has. And I wish him the best at the sheriff's office. Thank you.
Okay, we'll have Jean.
I want to take this opportunity to just tell how impressed I was watching the school-wide, college-wide committee working on the various people that applied for the presidency. And on October 25th and 26th, the finalists will be speaking on campus, and all the public will have a chance to hear them. I want to start putting that out now because that's a week or so away. I can't read my own writing, but I do want to welcome the two people that are new here, one on the campus here, and I don't know if it was Darcy or Kristen. I got them confused. But anyway, both, we're glad to have you here. President's Circle dinner, I plan to attend tomorrow night. The coffee at Merced was, I really enjoyed it. We didn't seem to have quite as many people this time as we did the time before at Merced, or am I wrong? Was it about? And then I'll be coming to the one here at Los Banos. I hope a lot of other people do too. I'm glad to have the police department aboard. I'm looking forward to more, but just so impressed with that group that worked together. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I missed one. We'll come back to you.
I just want to
Save the best for last.
thank the VPs for the report, and Dr. Lake, thank you for having us here. I'm glad to see the projects are moving on as planned. And again, I want to thank Stacy and Tracy for their hard work with the CEO search that's been going on. And on another note, kind of saddened. Quite a few board meetings back, I let out a little rant of my own in regards to the newspaper articles that were slamming Merced College, and I took that very personal. And hearing the union president stand up here and threaten to file a no confidence vote against the interim president. I don't see where that is coming from, really. You state 70% of faculty, yet I'm getting phone calls and emails praising the work that Susan does. Looking back from February, we have moved quite a bit on what's going on campus. Projects that have been started long ago, reorganizations that should have been done years and years ago. And if it wasn't for Susan Welsh pushing that, we'd still be stuck 10 years back. And I don't see where this vote of no confidence comes from. I'm going to read an email that I got, and this is just one of many. And I'm not going to quote who sent it, other than it's a faculty. I believe Susan Walsh to be a woman of exemplary character who has done nothing but the best work with the best interest of the entire Merced College community at heart. It is unthinkable that she would act with anything other than complete integrity. Anyone who believes otherwise should carefully question where they got their information. Now, you state that there's 70% of the faculty. Bring proof. If it's Survey Monkey, put it up on the web. I would like to see the proof that there's actually 70% of the faculty feel the same way that you do.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I missed Wayne.
Thanks to Robert Shepherd for bringing that situation back to the board for re-election.
Thank you.
I apologize, I wasn't here when I went through the first time. I'd also like to say thanks to Chris Castelli for the work he's done with the YES to make sure that we're straight on the information we're getting from that organization, from the students, and from the organization. And I think it's going to help a lot, the rapport that you're building with them. I also agree with Lino. I've got several emails today that kind of respectively disagreed with our president of the faculty union, that the way the emails got around, a lot of them were left out, number one. Number two, I was told the majority of the faculty disagreed with the operations that were carried on by emails. And I'd like to see some proof on that also.
I would like to thank Las Banas for again hosting us. As always, you do a very superb job, and as I said earlier, we're standing behind you. And one of the things that I was quite encouraged about when we were doing all of these interviews, one of the areas that we discussed was the fact that we are two campuses, and in every case, the indication was strong that we should continue to build this campus until someday when it can be an entity of its own. We would be a two-college, I guess they call them districts or something. And I think that would be an exciting moment. You know, I'm a little disturbed about a few things, but I want to give you some interesting statistics. 22 people gave 26 hours of their life to doing this research and evaluation of our candidates. And that means 612 hours were invested. I'm not talking about Tracy or Stacy. That was their job. But the rest of them, including myself, did it because we wanted to be responsible and contribute our insight. And to hear that they're talking in terms of a vote of no confidence over somebody who hasn't even been selected is idiocy. I've never heard of anything so stupid in my life. You evaluate somebody when you know who that somebody is. And I would hope that this would drop from any further consideration or discussion. I'm appalled by that. To think that you would say, okay, thanks but no thanks to 612 hours of people's lives, and say, well, we're going to have a vote of no confidence, whoever it is. And I want you to know the finalists that were brought forward to this board tonight, every one of them is an excellent educational leader. Any one of these would do an outstanding job in leading our institution. And I'm appalled to think that anyone would be stupid enough to say, well, we're going to do a no confidence vote on that person, regardless who they may be. And that's the end of my thought. But I want you to also know that my phone has rung off. In fact, my wife is beginning to think that we should probably install another phone line.
Change your number.
But I want you to know that I have heard from dozens of people over the last few weeks concerning all of this garbage that has come forward in the newspaper. They keep talking to me and they're saying, well, I'm reading between the lines and it seems to me like there's just a few people who have some kind of an axe to grind or trying to achieve something. And I tell them, you need to weigh everything that you read and hear, realizing that you have to work it through and find out whether or not it's true or not, or if it's tainted or whatever. And I'm going to share just one of the emails that came to me today on my own private email. I commend Susan for her hard work, dedication, and loyalty. Little do the recent hires know of all the years Susan withstood the pressure from prior administrations and influenced the course of academic progress at Merced College. Little do our faculty know how good they have it. Thank you.
Oh, I got that email.
Yes, superintendent's report.
Thank you very much. On Sunday, a faculty member emailed me a copy of the letter that Patrick had emailed them about being removed from the Presidential Search Committee. And at the same time, followed up with a phone call to say that Patrick Mitchell was promoting a no confidence vote on me. I was surprised. I guess I was a little surprised, not really. So I'd like to take a moment to address the turmoil on campus. I've been trying to be polite and good about that since February, but I'd like to address the turmoil on campus that is really created by only a few people. And so the first thing I will say, which I have said again, I never asked anyone to arrest a trustee, ever. I never asked that. Those words never passed my mouth. Anyone who knows me would know that is something that you can't picture me doing. I never did. Two, we never asked anybody to dust faculty offices for fingerprints because that also would be absurd. Why would we do that? Whose fingerprints would be in my office except mine? And as all people who work at the college know, we already have your fingerprints. You can't come to work for us without submitting your fingerprints. And the other part that surprised the heck out of me, which people on this campus know, including the faculty, was during this whole turmoil about the police department. I was brand new on the job, and as you know, I started in February. This picked up in March. The police department at Merced College does not report directly to the president. I was a secondary removed person from all of this. And suddenly, I was the one who was called with this. And last but not least about the police, the sheriff's contract, because I hear lots of stories about that. Again, I'm a secondary person on this. The sheriff's department inserted in the contract that came to us for renewal a clause that was unacceptable to the Board of Trustees. And when we had staff approach the sheriff to negotiate that or mitigate that, he said no. And shortly after that, he did tell us that he didn't care if he was our contractor or not. That was reported in the paper. Last but not least, I want to say thank you to MCFA for inviting Thaddeus Miller to stay just long enough for you to say that 75% of the faculty wanted to consider a vote of no confidence on me. But if you look at the numbers, Patrick, we have about 300 faculty full-time and part-time. That's less than 25% of the whole faculty. And second to that, even if it's only the full-time faculty, it's less than half. I work in an academic atmosphere. I have been an academic. I've worked here. I've worked for other institutions. So one of the things I suggest to MCFA and others is they actually look at ACCJC's website about, so you're thinking about taking a vote of no confidence. This is actually a website and a workshop provided by your peers. And number one, it says, what is your goal or purpose? It's a really good question. What might be the overall results of such a vote? Because sometimes the effects are unexpected to you. 3, are your concerns about academic issues or union issues? Please refer to 10+1 areas. Are the issues compelling enough? Have other avenues of recourse been exhausted? Discuss the issue widely and publicly across campus, and consider first adopting a resolution. And last but not least, what is the perspective of the classified staff? And the last one, are all discussions professional and focused on issues and behaviors, not on personalities? And what I want to say is in the 31 and a half years I've been at Merced College, I have fought for students. I was an early adopter of program review. I fought for students and student services and student equity from the day I hit this campus, and I have a record of that. I have a record of integrity. I have a record of running decent meetings where I stop and make sure everyone is included and that the agenda is fully informed. I have a record of that. You participate in shared governance meetings with me, Patrick. You don't complain at the meetings. You don't say we're not doing the job. You participate. Your concerns are listened to. Very often, the concerns of the faculty expressed by you and Julie carry the day. So faculty shared the preface to the survey you sent out. If that wasn't a personal attack on me, I don't know what was. And I don't know why. I don't know what the purpose of this is. I have 48 working days left if the plan of the trustees goes forward. 48 working days. What's the purpose of attacking me 48 days on my way out the door, if not to hurt me personally and somehow, in the eyes of others, decide that I've done damage to this institution? This is what I'll tell you. This is what I'll tell you. I'll stand on my record. 31 and a half years of service. 31 and a half years of working 50 to 60 hours a week. 31 and a half years of helping students, being generous with my own funds and finding other people in the community to support you. 31 and a half years of volunteering in the community. 31 and a half years of trying to bring the community and the college together in a way that serves us both. And I'll stand on that. And you want to have a no confidence vote on me of 25% of the faculty? And who will that hurt? It's going to hurt Merced College. All this turmoil is throwing mud at Merced College.
That's right.
Everybody, people hug me. Strangers come up and pat me on the back. I receive letters from people I don't even know in my office saying, hang in there. We all know who you really are. So what's the purpose of this? Is it to create more turmoil? I agree with Dennis. How absurd is it to put a no confidence vote on someone you don't even know? But even odder, how do you put a no confidence vote on someone who has been such a dedicated servant? Committed to program review, committed to shared governance, committed to the rights of the faculty. How absurd is that as I'm headed out the door? If not, to try to hurt me personally. So this is what I'll say. I live in this community, went to high school, went to college in this community, took care of my parents in this community, buried them in this community. I'll grow old here and probably be buried here myself. Those who are been ugly to me, many don't live here. Many don't eat here, shop here, work here, belong to clubs here. They don't know anything about our community. Very often they don't know anything about our college. They just come here and work and go away. So I urge you not to do these things, not because I care, because I have a 31-and-a-half-year record to stand on. The hundreds and even thousands of people who work side by side with me will continue to hold me up in esteem, but they're going to think less of the college. They're going to, what's worse, they're going to think less of your peers.
That's right.
They're going to think less of your peers. There's no point in that. Look at this guideline your peers have given you. If you're angry, I get it, but there are processes. You know them. The students, for heaven's sake, know them. Look at how successful the students have become following their processes, pounding on their issues over the years. So that's my report. My president's report is the state of the college is great. People are mad, people are angry, so is the whole society. You watch a presidential debate where people try to intimidate each other. I'm sorry, that's not me, not what I do. I'm committed to the college and committed to service. And I'm not going away. Attack me all you want. Say all the ugly things you want about me. I'm going to wake up in the morning, I'm still going to love the college, still going to work for the college, still going to try to bring money to the college, still try to help students at the college, still try to help the college meet its goals. Can those people who are answering that survey say the same thing? I don't think so. And when you say it's not a personal attack, no one who knows me believes that. I don't believe it. I know it's a personal attack when I see one. And that's my report.
I'm going to add my 2 cents worth. I've only been on the board slightly less than 4 years. When I came on the board members had things they wanted to get done. 3.5 years later, they still weren't done. Since Susan has been interim and acting president, we've gotten things done. And I think her record stands for itself.
You're the only one who hadn't talked. Do you want to talk?
No, I do.
Yeah, okay. This is on things from the agenda.
All right. Sabbatical reports. Do we have sabbatical reports? Dr. Ellison, are there?
It's my understanding folks would provide their sabbatical reports upon return, but that apparently isn't the case.
No.
Okay.
Next meeting.
Oh, I
The
see.
next meeting?
We'll make sure
Okay.
there's a next meeting.
Okay, addressing the board. Anyone wishing to address the board, remember 5 minutes, 20 per subject, and then of course, a majority vote of the board can extend the time. Okay, seeing that no one wishes to address the board, the meeting is adjourned.
Future items.
Future.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, future items. Let's get out of here as soon as we can.
Okay, I would like on the November agenda, 5 to 7 minutes for Jim Williamson to talk about the tree partners.
Okay.
And also, hopefully by that time, we will have the MOU of understanding after the board has heard him talk about it. I know Brian has talked about it, but I think somebody from the community needs to talk about it.
Okay, and you had something earlier that you mentioned.
Right, just kind of, I want an item to discuss the process for the board election for the next.
Okay.
Election of board officers, no. Okay.
Process for board officer elections. Anything else for November? Yes, Cindy?
Okay, to add on to Joe, what I was thinking was, what was I thinking? The process for, that we just need to bring in, either have staff or bring in ourselves, some of the different ways that other college boards do that board election, and whether it's nominations, whether we all get a chance to talk for a few minutes about why we think somebody else would be good before somebody makes a motion, and that we all get an actual open session ahead of time, and then those motions could come. But it just is, it's been very non-informative the last few years, and a lot of backroom deals are made before anybody comes in, and that's not been healthy. Since I did not vote in the way that I was asked to vote last January and February, I have not had, I mean, I wasn't going to talk about this, but I'm talking about it now. I haven't had a conversation with either the board chair or the superintendent president. They will not actually answer my calls. And so we need to, what I'm talking about for this,
lead into a
yes, I am,
on the board.
is because is that we really need to work on board processes even more. So board, and what a lot of boards are doing is study sessions. So I'd like to talk about those, so that instead of me asking all these questions, keeping you guys here forever, that if we have something that's kind of detailed, is that we have either an hour before the board meeting starts or another day, but almost all of these really active, informed boards, and boy, some of them are really high-level people. They do have this deeper study sessions, so we're not having to hold everybody here.
Put on there the consideration of study sessions for the board.
Okay, and then I also think we really need to talk, and maybe this will be for the next board, more board retreats and other training on a lot of different things. I won't list those all right now. I still think, I know we moved up these constituent reports a little bit, back to where they were a few years ago, but I like them where they were last year, where they were right after the presentations, or at the least right after the consent agenda. These are, it's a confined piece of time for these folks. There's 7 of them. Should be no more than 35 minutes. We know that. These people are working. Some people have class and students too.
You can't bring that up. You voted against it and lost. Only someone who's in.
I didn't vote against anything. No, I didn't.
The reordering of the agenda was never voted on.
But I didn't, I'm voting for it to be moved up further forward. I did not vote against it. You can look at it, thank you, Stacy. I just feel, we didn't have a full open discussion. It gets slammed through on votes. I don't even think I really got to talk about moving it earlier. It just got voted through that day. So I would just like to talk about moving it forward. And that's.
Okay, then we'll put on the agenda discussion of the agenda, the structure.
Right. But just being not involved in things, I watched the board meeting today, and just at last when we were all giving our comments, with very much strategy, you decided to pass the mic around in a weird way so you guys could end up leading into Susan's talk. So you wanted to make sure it was the ones reading the letters, and it was kind of, it's good strategy, but it's obvious strategy. And don't think you're fooling anybody with that.
Good imagination.
Next time,
Is that an agenda item, Trustee Blanchard?
no, but it is how to, well, because Dennis strategized to have all that talk leading up to that before, and made the rest of us speak ahead of time. We didn't have the time to speak about that. So I'm just talking about, maybe we have a policy, we talk about a policy for a set way to speak so it can be more randomized and not
disrespectful.
Really? Meeting is adjourned.
Wow. And this is why we wait till the end.